1922. The tempo of the city had changed sharply. The buildings were higher. The parties were bigger. The morals were looser and the liquor was cheaper. The restlessness approached hysteria.
Hello everybody, how's it going? I hope you're all doing great today, because at this moment I need to talk about a book, and this book, as you could see at you could watch at the very beginning, it is about The Great Gatsby. According to what I researched, The Great Gatsby is a very important novel or book that it is like very recommended in American high schools and in English learners people who recommend other people to read it. And it is like that creates a question that it is like, why does this happen? And actually there are several reasons of why this happens, of why this book has a lot of popularism. But like the most accepted one says that it is like due to the context that the book had when it was released. Well, as you can see, and I will tell you, the book was released in 1925 and it was written by Fitzgerald. It is important to recognize this epoch and this time because there was a time when where New York citizens and New York in general was changing. And Fitzgerald created this book like making a critical analysis of how society worked. Through some part of the book or of the story, we could see the representation of how the people worked in some parts, like parties, or how the representation worked in some like levels of status, like the one that we watch when Tom Buchanan is in his house, and the one that we have when Wilson is in his house. So you know, there are like a lot of gaps between those categories. There is like the wealthy one and the poor one, and that is like a very critical analysis of how the society worked and how the society was doing at those times. Even though I think that the book works pretty good if we start to looking at that analysis in those times, because it is like a very critical one, and you can find a lot of similarities between the time that we had when the book is taking part, and the one reality that we have in this moment. That is, who are the people who work for the country to improve it? Poor people. Who are the one who just enjoy all that stuff that poor people created? People as Tom Buchanan, or maybe people as the great Gatsby, as Gatsby, you know. So I think that Fitzgerald did a very good, important job in there. And even though there are like a lot of gossips theories that says that he created that book just because he wanted to caught a love, and this love is a person where that he fell in love with, and all this stuff. But I won't get deeper into it because I think that is irrelevant at this point. Fitzgerald sadly died at his 40s, and he couldn't get a lot of his popularism that he wanted with his book, because he died very early at his age. And the thing is that even though if he had lived a little bit longer, people won't recognize him as the one that he was, because the popularism that he won was like a little bit later. A little bit, when I say a little bit later, I mean years later. And it is sadly to recognize that, because it is like common to say, like, if I create a book, maybe that would be a masterpiece. But I will never know if I don't publish, and if I don't get the support from people, and if the people just don't care even even at this moment, but years later, when they say like, oh my gosh, look at that reference, oh, that was what's happening with that people. And it was like, I don't know, there is a critical thing that I have to tell you about that critical thing that Fitzgerald did, and about the critical analysis that we have in the society nowadays. However, going a little bit deeper with the plot of the book, we have some characters like Nick Carraway, that is the one that we are in the shoes. Nick Carraway is the narrator of the story. He's an officinist. He's a very sensitive person. Yeah, sensitive person or sensible? Don't remember. I think he's sensitive person. Yeah, because he is quite emotional. He's this kind of person who sees some things and he tries with a lot of effort to tell us how he was feeling. Even though his role in this story is being a spectator, he doesn't really do anything like quite important, except from the main action that he does, that is like to connect two people and to make them together. That I don't want to spoil you, but yeah, that's what he does. And if he hadn't done that before, the whole plot couldn't continue. So that's the idea. Nick Carraway is a very empathetic person. Yeah, he is the one who cares about a lot of people, and he is the one who is like the most normal one. Then we have her cousin, that is Daisy, that is like the careless person, the most careless person in the world. I definitely hate her more than Tom Buchanan, that is her husband. I definitely hate her most because she is a careless person. She doesn't even care about her own daughter. She doesn't even care about herself, and she has everything she wants, even though she is not happy. And it is, some people see that part as if it was the most common sentence that says like, money doesn't give you happiness. But I personally believe that that's wrong. With money you can be happy if you are with the right person. That's the thing. But well, the idea is that she didn't wait for the main action that was like to wait her man. Not her man, but her man. Yeah, her boyfriend, not her man, the person. Her man, no. Bad joke, I know. The thing is that then we had Tom Buchanan. Tom Buchanan is the villain of the story. I really like this character because he really does a very good job in this, because I don't know, it's just like the job that he has is to be the hated one, and I really hate it. I really hate him, but not as I hate Daisy, but yeah, I hate him as well. He has a very strong capacity of he has a very strong ability of seeing things. He is the one who feels like mandatory in everything, and he just cares about things when he thinks that he's going to lose them. That's like a very big sentence that I have from him. Then we have Myrtle, that is like the second lover that Tom Buchanan has. And Myrtle is like the exact representation of how a poor woman feels with a poor man with poor expectations and poor ambitions. Like in this case is Wilson, but we are going to talk about Wilson a little bit later. Myrtle is this kind of character which just doesn't care about a person who is wealthy, and in this case the wealthy one is Tom. And then we have Wilson. Wilson is the most poor guy in the whole world, not just economically but emotionally. He's the poor guy, and I really feel bad for him because I think that he didn't deserve what he got. It is just sadly, but it was what it was. Wilson is this correct person. Wilson is this person who does his best effort to have the best results, even though he didn't get what he deserved. And it is sadly, but it was. Now, to conclude, I know that I have just finished my time to say things, but I know that I really like this book, and I have watched the movie, and I have to say that some parts that I liked of the movie was the mysteries that we have of discovering who Gatsby was. And I really liked in both adaptations, in the book and the cinematic adaptation, because it has a cinematic adaptation starred by Leonardo DiCaprio, Tobey Maguire. I don't remember the name of the villain, but a very important person, I know. But yeah, I really like that story. I really enjoy it, and I am glad to say that I will definitely read it again, but another editorial edition of this, because I know that there is another edition that is like longer, and I would like to read it. So I really recommend this book if you want some mystery, if you want some drama, if you want some romanticism, and if you want some sad moments. So having said that, I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I hope you, teacher, who is watching me in this moment, I hope you have liked the video as well, and I am grateful for you for having gave us the opportunity to read this novel. So yeah, thank you.